Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Freedom Friday here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about exactly how the left are demons. Legitimately. I mean that for real. These people are demonically possessed at this point, 100%. Maybe not all of them, but definitely a good portion of them are, for sure. And the ones that are demon possessed are now the ones that are indoctrinating the younger generations into this Satanism shit now. So, yeah, basically, this is going to be mostly why there needs to be a ton of lawsuits right now over the recent BS passage of Issue 1 in Ohio. The fact that you had 2.1 million vote for it, the fact you had 1.6 million vote against it, and the fact that 4 million people in the state of voting age didn't cast a ballot one way or another on it. And yet these asshole leftists think they have the majority in the state. No, they don't, man. What you have is you have a bunch of fucking lax voters who don't give a shit about voting at all until it actually affects them and their families. And that's exactly what we're going to find out very quickly, this whole thing. If we actually allow this shit to go forward and become legitimate law here within the next 30 days, which will be, I believe, December 6th is when the actual day is that it would take effect, you will have so many people realize by January, February, March of next year that you're going to have kids on hormone drugs. You're going to have all kinds of fucking abortion shoot up like crazy. You're going to have all kinds of fucking bullshit from the left at this point. And it's just going to be, it's mass genocide is what it is, dude. It's mass genocide. It's fucking globalist oligarchy control is what it is at the end of the day. That's exactly what this is, because that's who funded it. You had Michael Bloomberg, who is a fucking anti-gun, wannabe fucking Nazi, piece of shit motherfucker, for sure, 100%. A ZJ, you know what I'm talking about, I won't say that, by the way. That piece of crap is the worst of the worst. And then you have fucking George Soros, who is an actual Nazi collaborator by his own fucking admission. This man in 1930s/40s Germany, during the height of World War II, would go into Jewish people's homes, leading the fucking SS into there so that they could take them off to death camps, so he could then steal all their fucking shit and amass his own wealth and fortune then with that. That's how fucked up this man is, dude. And these are the people that are funding these abortion amendments, dude. And yet you have these dumbass young college kids, you have these dumbass young first-time voters and stuff like that. These moronic Gen Z kids, you probably shouldn't have voting rights in this country at all, for that matter. Just because of the fact that for the last decade of their lives have been indoctrinated by leftist bullshit to be activists, to be little fucking mini terrorists for Antifa and BLM, etc. And they're the ones that are voting for this crap, is what it is, dude. They are the fucking lemmings going right off the fucking cliff, is what it is. Legitimately. And I'm sick and tired of it. And what's even more disgusting is, instead of actually having some fucking balls in this state, instead of actually having a fucking spine in this state, you have people who are now in the Ohio GOP who are straight up resigning from office over issue 1. Specifically, you had one woman here who was the State Republican Party committee, Central Committee member, resigned citing issue 1 passage. And this is the actual statement that she made here. I'm going to pull it up so we can actually read it here. And she says, as I quote, "To whom it may concern, as of November 9th, 2023, I am willfully resigning from the State Central Committee serving District 20. I can no longer be under an oath to uphold the new Constitution of Ohio. Thank you, Sabrina Warner." That's what's fucking bullshit, dude. You have her resigning over this shit, yet if you actually look into the Ohio Constitution, this is exactly why there should have been lawsuits filed either right on Tuesday night when this BS was able to. Well, first of all, there should have been lawsuits to begin with when this was even approved by the Board of Elections to get fucking signature ballot harvesting and stuff like that. That's what it is, dude. For them to gather signatures on it, because of the fact you had legitimately a direct violation of the First Amendment of the Ohio Constitution, specifically Article 1, Section 1. And when you actually look up the Ohio State Constitution, which I did last night, actually, just to confirm my thing here is what it is. And we're going to go ahead and go there right now, actually. and we'll talk about the whole thing right now, actually. So, yeah, going to the Ohio Constitution itself right here. You have Article 1, Bill of Rights, Article 1, Section 1, Inalienable Rights. All men are, by nature, free and independent and have certain inalienable rights, among which are those of enjoying and defending life and liberty, acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and seeking and obtaining happiness and safety. So yeah, that directly violates life and safety in the fucking First Amendment, Article 1, Section 1 of the Ohio Constitution. That is why this shit cannot be allowed to stand at all, dude. And like I said, this is why, honestly, every Board of Elections member in the state of Ohio that allowed this bullshit to even be put on the fucking ballot as an issue should be arrested right now for mass genocide. They should be arrested right now and investigated for fucking briberies and shit, because I guarantee you there was some fat-ass envelopes full of cash put in their fucking pockets those days, dude. By these cocksuckers in Planned Parenthood, these fuckers in Soros' camp from ACLU, etc. There is no fucking way that this shit was actually allowed to go forward without serious fuckery and serious corruption and actual criminal felonies going on with it. And it needs to be investigated as such at this point. And I'll tell you what, if I had the money independently right now, I would have already filed a dozen lawsuits on this shit. And that's the problem. I don't have that fucking money independently. And the issue is the people that do have the money are holding the fucking purse strings right now. They're holding the purse string shut, not allowing me to get access to it. And that's why I've been talking and contacting various people in the state house right now, in the state senate right now. Because I'm like, you guys need to file these lawsuits. You need to use the taxpayer money at this point to file the fucking lawsuits. Use the money that we have in the goddamn rainy day funds, for God's sakes, to file the fucking lawsuits, dude. But instead, going back and citing the pussy-ass coward that he is, you got fucking piece of shit Mike DeWine, who should have never been allowed to get reelected, for that matter, because he should have been impeached fucking a year and a half ago when he did the 442 attorney on us, is what it is. You got this fucking dickless cunt. Accepts will of the people on abortion, marijuana, but hold on. It says Mike DeWine is accepting the will of the people on legislating abortion access and marijuana restrictions, but that acceptance comes with caveats. Said days after Ohioans voted to enshrine abortion and other reproductive rights in the Ohio Constitution, Governor acknowledged the result, even as fellow Republicans look for ways to overturn it, as they fucking should. And like I said, you can easily do, literally based on Article 1, Section 1 of the Ohio Constitution that was established in 1851, motherfuckers. You have a state constitution that is over 250 years old. Or sorry, not 250 years. Over 150 years old. 170 something actually right now. And is case precedent for over 170 years now. Nearly 200 years now. And you cannot sit here and honestly tell me that this fucking bullshit can stand to any kind of scrutiny whatsoever, especially when you look at the fucking language of issue 1, where it was so broad-brushed for a reason, because the leftists know if they actually did it narrow and shit like that, that you would have it knocked down immediately, because it would be directly violating multiple other state laws already that's been on the books for decades, if not centuries. Up to and including not aborting Down syndrome kids, up to and including not aborting kids for other medical reasons, etc., like that, their birth defects and shit. It's fucking disgusting, dude. And again, this would never be a fucking issue if we banned out-of-state funding in any of these fucking things, whether it be for state officials to run for office, whether it be for fucking issues to be given money to and stuff like that. Because they shouldn't be allowed to, man. If you do not, seriously, if you do not live in the state of Ohio, you should not be allowed to fund money into an issue or a candidate in this fucking state. Because you are directly trying to fuck with our state as a whole, whether it be through our state constitution or whether it be through our elected officials, because you're trying to get your bribed ass fucking puppet into power at that point. And that's exactly what Bloomberg has done for many election cycles now at this point. Same thing with Soros, for that matter. They are actively funding DAs in multiple states. Bloomberg is actively funding his anti-gunners in every single state general assembly at this point now. And it's like, dude, stay the fuck out of my state. Stay the fuck out of all these states. You're a New York businessman. Get your fucking ass back to New York. If you want to fuck up New York, dude, good. Go ahead, fine. That's your fucking right to do that because you're a legal citizen of that fucking state, asshole. But you know, you're not a legal citizen of douchebag. You're not a fucking citizen of Ohio, Michael Bloomberg. You fucking piece of shit, anti-gun fuckstick. Shit makes me angry as fuck. By the way, I guess there's been talked to about issue 2, which is the weed amendment and stuff like that. Obviously being a statute, which is, by the way, is exactly what abortion should have been too. They should have never allowed on any kind of thing except as a statute would have been then. Because that way you could have the General Assembly itself then carve it to a point where it's like, no, you cannot have this thing or whatever the case be, and they would just simply, delete it basically at the end of the day. Which is exactly what they're going to try to do with weed is what it is there, which for some reason Senate President Matt Hoffman has a stick up his ass, but weed is what it is, man. I don't understand why either, for that matter. And I don't know if it's because he's big pharma controlled at this point, like paid off by them and stuff like that, which I think a lot of the GOP in the state is, honestly. Like, they all have ties to big pharma and stuff like that. Or if it's not big pharma, it's like big alcohol and stuff like that. Like how LaRose is actually tied directly to Budweiser and shit like that. He actually, his family owns a distributor that distributes Budweiser and other beer companies like that. So I'm thinking maybe that's what it is that they're basically like, oh, it's going to cut into my drinking profits, or it's going to cut into my, big pharma medical pill profits or something like that's what it'll be then. Which, again, sorry, if you're an actual elected official in this state, you should not be allowed to have those kind of fucking, things you're put forward at all is what it is, dude. Because right there, you're showing that you're a fucking puppet of somebody, then is what it is. You're showing that you are not for the will of people, that you're not actually for your constituents that you were voted in by, that you're actually being bought and paid for by some fucking mega donor or something like that's what it is. And that's my biggest problem entirely with money in politics in general is what it is there. And again, it goes back to out-of-state funding entirely, because a lot of these people that are in power right now were actually funded from out-of-state too, for that matter. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if we wiped the fucking slate clean, Ohio would still be a mostly red state at the end of the day. If we actually did like one county, one rep with every party, allowed in there is what it is. The thing is, you would have like probably majority Republicans in many of the counties and stuff like that. You'd probably have like around 40-ish or so, give or take. And then you'd have like, like I said, about 6-8 Democrats in the major city counties and stuff like that. Like your, like Franklin County or Cuyahoga County, where, Columbus and Cleveland are respectively is what it is there. And they'd have probably about maybe 8, maybe 10 seats at most, depending. Because obviously there are some of these, outlier counties that are kind of blue leaning is what it is then. And they might have enough from the Gen Z voter base now and stuff like that to have like an extra seat or something there. So yeah, you'd have Republicans that would have like probably like 4/8 of the thing. Democrats would probably have like 1/8 of the thing, and then you'd have like 3/8 that would be made up of like various other parties, whether it be independents, whether it be Libertarian Party, whether it be the Internet Libertarian Party I created in 2016, whether it be the Green Party, whether it be actual communists getting into power somehow in like 1 or 2, counties and stuff like that, or socialist or something else for that matter, But that's the thing. Like, at least then you would have like actual true representation of the states, what it is. And that's what I feel like with a lot of these states for that matter. Like, there's a lot of states out there where you have way more state reps and state senators in their general assemblies than they actually have counties. Like, look at Pennsylvania, for God's sakes. Pennsylvania has like less than Ohio does. We have 88 counties here in Ohio. Pennsylvania has like 70 something. And there's like 230 or 250 fucking people in their state house right now, dude. Because you have Philadelphia area and Pittsburgh area that have like 50 something districts apiece is what it is there. And it's like, why? Like, that's fucking stupid, dude. They should have one apiece is what it is there. Like, I don't care about your fucking population density bullshit, dude. Like, again, this is how you commit massive voter fraud, was what it is there. And it's how you flip general assemblies into crazy ass blue shit, is what it is, man. Because you keep adding seats until you get your way, is what it is there. And that's exactly, well, I'll never let these fuckers get their gerrymandering shit through here, is what it is, man. Because I know for a fact they're going to try and gerrymander our state blue, then is what it is. They want to sit there and call it anti-gerrymandering, but what they really mean in reality is, oh, we don't want Republicans to have power here. We want Democrats to have the power here to fuck over your gun rights, to fuck over your ability to actually not have kids sterilized through hormone drugs, to not have fucking kids killed in the womb, et cetera, et cetera. And the thing is, it's not like there's already states out there like New York and New Jersey that do that shit, man. Just move to them assholes. Like, seriously. Fuck with Ohio. So, anyway, going back to the DeWine article there, it said, he said, in this country, we accept the results of elections, and we certainly accept the results of issue 1 in Ohio, as well as issue 2. What the? Why? No, we don't. We do not accept the fucking results of elections, you dickhead, because they're fucking frauded, you fucking old retarded moron. Dude, I'm calling right now. Every single member of the Ohio GOP, impeach Mike DeWine's ass Monday morning. Seriously. This fucking guy should never be allowed to even go for re-election. I called you people out 3 fucking years ago during the lockdowns to impeach his ass back in summer 2020, and you didn't fucking do it. You waited 442 days of fucking tyranny under this fucking bullshit-ass lockdown where this fucking rhino sack of shit, who is a known fucking criminal, who should be in prison right now, next to Larry Household in the same fucking cell for the same fucking crimes, because DeWine, not only DeWine, but Husted too, were both involved in the HB6 scandal of the fucking bribe money, dude. They took direct bribes in the 2018 midterms while they were running for election for campaign donations and shit like that. There is direct money from the people behind HB6 that gave them a shitload of fucking campaign money as a dark money bribe is what it is. And that's exactly why they should be tied to that shit, and they should be in jail with Householder at this point. And you should have a third person come up then as the new fucking governor for the next couple years. What it is. If that be the case, then that person right now technically would be Matt Hoffman, being the Senate president and third line of succession. Under him, it would then be Speaker of the House, which would be currently Jason Stevens. And then underneath them, it would be Frank LaRose, who's the Secretary of State. And underneath that, it would be, I forget if it's, I keep forgetting which one the sixth is. It's either auditor or treasurer. And then seventh is the other thing. And then eighth and final, and the final succession for governorship is the AG, which would be Dave Yost right now. So, anyway. But I've had this discussion before about, like, you know, how far would you go down the line of succession and stuff like that before you don't find a criminal in it? And it's like, yeah, it'd be kind of hard, honestly, on that one, dude. Anyway. Going back to this News 5 article here, though. Said, dozens of State House Republicans wrote a letter saying they would try to prevent the repealing of anti-abortion restriction provisions, meaning pro-life, by the way. See, this is what I hate about these fucking scumbags like Morgan Trow. Like, this bitch needs to get smacked across the face for even fucking writing that crap like that, dude. And this is why I fucking hate the mainstream media entirely, dude. So instead of just saying pro-life provisions that are in the state constitution, which is exactly what it fucking is, you dumb cunt Morgan. No, it's anti-abortion because we gotta control the fucking narrative of the fucking phrasing now. Fuck you, cunt. I swear to God, dude, if I do get money together and file fucking lawsuits, pieces of shit in the mainstream media like Morgan Trow are gonna be the first on the fucking list to be sued out of existence right now at this point. Because her ass needs to fucking be sued at this point. And like I said before, dude, these fucking fake news ass mainstream media journalists, dude, they need to have their fucking First Amendment freedom of the press protections ripped away from them at this point in history, honestly. Because 99 fucking percent of them are not fucking press anymore. They're not fucking journalists anymore. They are literally a bunch of fucking asswipe puppet pieces of shit for the fucking left at this point in history. And I fucking had it with these fucking cunts, dude. Anyway. Said in essence, stopping issue 1 from taking effect as it should. However, DeWine emphasized the importance of respecting the voters. What about the 1.6 million plus voters that voted against the shit, you dickless DeWine? What about those people? What about the 4 million people that didn't cast a vote at all, buddy? That may have a fucking problem with this now. What about those people, Mike DeWine? How about respecting their fucking will? Oh yeah, that's right, you don't give a shit because you're a fucking puppet who's been in power for over 45 goddamn years, longer than I've been alive. You were a fucking county prosecutor / county DA in 1976, 9 years before I was born, buddy. And you've been in power ever since then, except for like a couple years where you took off to go hang out with your family because you couldn't actually run for election sometime in that period of time. And it was right after that you run. I think at that point is what it was actually, was you were trying to get a different thing going. Was what was there, and you were trying to figure out what state house seat or whatever, or not state house seat. Figure out what state, like major seat you were going to run for, whether it be like AG or Secretary of State or whatever the case be there. And of course, you then ended up choosing AG at the time, which I'm not going to lie, you were not a bad AG. That's the sad part, dude. In the 2010s or so, when Mike DeWine was actually AG of Ohio under John Kasich, he was not a bad attorney general here. He was actually decent because that Pike County murder thing happened under him is what it was. And he actually was able to do his job at that point in history to get the people that actually killed these people arrested and put on trial. And they've actually been given various life sentences or death penalties right now in the state of Ohio right now. And that was all due to Mike DeWine at that point. Now, I believe, truthfully, that's the only reason he won the governorship in 2018, for that matter, because you had him basically running on that platform of like, hey, look at all this actual stuff I've done in the last couple of years. Here's what it is. And it's like, but before that, he did basically nothing for like fucking 40 years is what it is, dude. Like, he just fucked us over many, many times. Like, hell, he was a congressman in Congress in the 1990s. He fucked us over there. He was in the U.S. Senate in the 1990s / early 2000s, stuff like that. He fucked us over there, too, for that matter. Lined his own pockets and started trading everything else like that at the time as well, for that matter. It makes sense why Mike DeWine has an actual, tens of millions of dollars in his fucking personal bank account right now. When the guy's literally done and started trading his entire fucking worthless ass life. So, yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense, man, for real. And it makes sense why he's a little pussy ass coward, fucking, want to be leprechaun is what it is. I swear to God, dude, this fucking guy is a legitimate midget at this point in history. Like, he is definitely leprechaun status at that point, man. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, so DeWine emphasized the importance of voting. Despite doing so, he avoided answering State House reporter Morgan Trouse's questions about the efforts of the colleagues. We do not think the GOP plans... Wait. Okay, she said, do you think the GOP plans or opponents' plan to repeal it would be going against the will of the people? Again, it was the will of a bunch of fucking demons, you fucking piece of shit cunt, Morgan Trow. And no, the will of the fucking people said, fuck you and fuck your abortionist bullshit in every rural county in this fucking place, dude. Which, you know what? Here's my thing, right? Okay. How about we do this, right? You want to fucking have abortion on demand, people? That's cool. We'll have it in your fucking major shithole cities where y'all voted for it. Every single rural county in the state of Ohio that voted against that shit, it should be banned in every single one of those places then. Because fuck you. That would actually work well for me, honestly, dude, because then you'd actually have to have people that may be in a rural county of this state have to then take their fucking lazy ass 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever the hell it is, to whatever major city it would be then to go have a fucking abortion. That would work well, honestly. Because maybe then they'd go against this, what it is, and be like, no, it's going to be too far. Let's just have the kids, what it is. And that's the problem, dude. It's the easy access, and it's an easy solution for these fucking sickos, dude, to be able to do this crap, of exactly why they continue to do it so much. Let's see where we're at now. This is what DeWine had said. He said, look, I'm not going to talk about what anyone else is doing. What I just said is that we respect the vote, but like everything else in this country, whether it's legislation passed by the General Assembly, a constitutional amendment passed by the people, we always continue to elevate how things are working. Said DeWine kept deflecting, but eventually said that voters and lawmakers will consider all avenues. People will decide if they are comfortable with what we voted on, or they will decide if it maybe needs to be changed or tweaked. So, however, he acknowledged one of the reasons issue 1 passed is because of the unpopular 6-week abortion ban, one without exceptions for rape and incest, which I think is bullshit on that one too, by the way. Pretty fucking sure there actually was exceptions for rape and incest in that fucking 6-week ban, dude. Like, I've actually looked into the legislation. As far as I'm aware, there actually is caveats like that in there. So the bill was signed into law, but he, let's see. So this bill was a bill. DeWine signed into law, but he did not, said he wasn't responsible for the constitutional amendment. Yeah, so here's the thing about that, right? Okay, so this is the problem right now. So you basically had one of two kind of extremes in the situation. You had a 6-week ban that, by the way, all these this is the thing. This is exactly why issue 1 should have been null and void to begin with all these fucking attack ads against the 6-week ban thing by Bloomberg and Soros, etc., and their fucking attack ads there. But tell me what yes on issue 1 is what it was there, because of the fact you had them fucking straight up lying, them deceiving the voter base and being like, oh, but the 6-week ban's already in place. No, it's fucking not. It hasn't been in place since 2019 when you fucking dickless losers went out there and tried to do some bullshit fucking lawfare lawsuit against it and held up the courts for the past fucking 4 years now is what it is, assholes. You have never had a 6-week ban in the state of Ohio ever enacted to actually be in place for any amount of time because it's always been lawsuited out of place is what it is there, dude. What we've had in place right now for the last 4 years, even during the COVID lockdowns for 442 days there, was a 22-week ban for 5.5 months. 5.5 months, for God's sakes. Viability, more than viability at that point. I have a cousin who was born at 20 weeks, who survived. There is so many more kids that were born at 20 weeks now and are surviving because of modern medical equipment and modern medicine is what it is. Because we can keep these kids alive. We can keep them in the incubators. We can keep them going until they can actually function on their own months later. And you're going to sit here and tell me that that shit is not demonic to kill a fucking human being, for God's sakes. Which, truthfully, life starts at conception, period. However, obviously, you're not viable outside the womb until a certain point. But 20 weeks or so, you fucking are at this point in history, honestly, dude. And yes, when you have a fucking heartbeat at 6 weeks, this shit should be banned. Because you're literally fucking killing a child that can feel pain, for God's sakes. I can't show it on stream, unfortunately, because I don't want to get a channel strike for it. But yeah, there's video on X/Twitter right now that I put on the network's account there a couple days ago, where they literally show how these sick-ass abortion doctors take a fucking pair of forceps and rip a kid out piece by fucking piece. Leg, an arm, another leg, fucking torso, rip the fucking head off, etc., dude. It is demonic shit. And the reason they do that stuff like that, and they put the pieces of the baby back together, is so they know exactly how much money they can fucking get off of it, which is what Project Veritas and James O'Keefe exposed 4 to 5 fucking years ago at this point, where you had Planned Parenthood talking about baby parts that they were selling to get brand new Mercedes Benzes and stuff like that is what it was. Or brand new Porsches, or what the hell one bitch was talking about. It was disgusting, dude. She's like, oh yeah, if I sell, 150 baby legs today, I can go get this new fucking car now. Because they're each worth like whatever it was, like $10,000 or something like that's what it is. Which, by the way, the even more disgusting part about that is people don't realize this. A lot of that tissue from those babies' aborted parts is what it is there. Their legs, their arms, etc. goes into makeup and shit, dude. It's one of the active ingredients in all fucking makeup that chicks put on their faces and shit like that. It's not only that, but it's also like food additives for that matter, too, for that matter. You have like cells taken from that stuff and put into food additives and shit. So it's actually, these sick fucks are actually making us eat our aborted young unknowingly. Like, how fucking demonic is that, dude? How truly fucking sick is that? And people wonder why I'm pissed off right now. Anyway, continuing on here, said, Dwayne said how people felt about once Roe versus Wade was overturned was what was hypothetical became real. You can see a change in people's opinions. So the governor also pushed back against GOP members planning on overhauling issue 2, which legalized recreational marijuana. So he does not want to see some change. So he does want to see some changes. We have an obligation to make sure that this is done right. He says that the main recommendation to the lawmakers is to make sure the Ohioans are protected from smoke in public places and that children don't accidentally ingest weed products like gummies. So this is basically a misnomer at that point. That's why you had the shit basically done lawsuits and stuff like that, because it's the same thing with people talking about Halloween candy. Like, that's the thing that pisses me off by the mainstream media too, by the way. The same mainstream media that will sit there and push like all kinds of bullshit about like, anti-abortion this and stuff like that will be like, oh, but check your kids' Halloween candy this year because it might have weed gummies and stuff in it. No, it's not, you fucking lying pricks. No, it didn't. It's just like the same fucking scare tactics from like 20, 30 years ago when they were like, razor blades in the fucking candy. Because like one sick son of a bitch put a razor blade in some kid's fucking chocolate bars one time is what it was. And it just happened to be that there was like one person, I think it was in Colorado, who was all high as fuck and didn't actually have Halloween candy, but had like a bunch of weed edibles is what it was, and like various things like the old, because by the way, there's been companies now sued over this whole thing because there used to be ones that look like Sour Patch Kids that were like Weed Patch Kids or whatever. And the packaging looked almost like Sour Patch Kids, and Sour Patch sued the shit up is what it is now. And so did a bunch of other companies for that matter too, so they can't use those likenesses what it is now anymore. And the entire point is though, you had like one jerk off in Colorado or whatever the case be that was like throwing out like weed edibles to kids is what it was that one time. Like the year after the weed was legalized in Colorado or something like that's what it was there, like a decade ago or something. So, but yeah, it's never happened since then, dude. But yeah, they're going to use it as a scare tactic every single time. Just like the whole thing where it's like, oh my god, if you go outside during the fucking Koof years, oh my god, you're going to catch us and die every time. Which is exactly why the media should be sued out fucking exists at this point, dude. Seriously. Mainstream media should no longer exist in this country at all. Ever again. They are the fucking liars. They are the scumbags. They are the fucking actual scumbaggy Nazis of this fucking country, dude. For real. Anyway. I do agree with DeWine on one thing on this one, though. Yeah, you shouldn't be allowed to toke up in fucking public places, dude. Like, seriously, I shouldn't have to walk by you on a fucking street or something like that and walk through your fucking giant weed cloud. And the same thing with vapes and that shit, for that matter. You should not be allowed to vape THC in public like that, because you shouldn't be allowed to burst out a bunch of fucking. That's the thing too, by the way. I remember one time, and I almost knocked about 5 people out that day for that, by the way. When I was at the comic shop a few years ago, there was this little punk ass pack of kids there, which I guarantee are the same assholes who voted for weed this year, because they were all like 13, 14 at the fucking time that I talked to them that day is what it was. And they were basically puffing away on a fucking vape that they didn't even legally have access to because they weren't over 18 at the time. They were all like 15, 16, something like that. And I guarantee they're the fucking potheads that voted yes on issue 2 and yes on issue 1, probably for that matter too, on that world. Because they're dumb, uninformed retards is what it is. But yeah, I was sitting there trying to go up to the counter to talk with the store owner, and one of these little dipshits is like, and right as I fucking walk by, he's like, and blew it like right in my fucking face. I came this close to turning around and fucking clocking his bitch ass out, dude. The only reason I didn't is because I would go to jail for fucking child abuse, because like he was under 18 years old. If he had been 18 or older, dude, I would have fucking KO'd his ass right there on the spot, honestly, for that shit. You don't do some shit like that, dude. You don't fucking shoot fucking smoke into someone's face, you asshole. Or vape juice, whatever the fuck you want to call it at that point. Don't be giving me your fucking cancer, you fucking douche. Your fucking second and third hand smoking shit. Anyway. Let's see. DeWine said, people have a right to smoke weed, that's fine. But other people have a right not to smell it and not to have their kids or their grandkids exposed to it. Exactly. It says, DeWine seems to be fed up with reporters asking about repealing or changing both issues. News 5's media partner, Capital Journalist, asked a follow-up question about J.D. Vance making a comment about abortion, which DeWine rejected. Said, no. How often in this conversation you are not quoting me? I always take responsibility for what I say, but you're not quoting someone else. This is about the 8th time. I'm happy to dodge that question like I tried to dodge the other ones. That's one thing I will say. Even though DeWine's a pussy, like, good on him for that last part, dude, because he's like, no, you're not going to fucking quote me on somebody else's quote, asshole. Like, you want to quote me on what I say? Okay, that's fine. But don't be trying to bring up somebody else. It's like another, like a congressman like J.D. Vance, whatever the case be, and then be like, how do you feel about J.D. Vance's comments? No fucking comment, asshole. Move the fuck on, Morgan Trout and other dumb cunts down there in fucking Columbus. But they never will, dude, because they're fucking a bunch of scumbag vultures is what it is, dude, for real. Let's see. This is what's next. Democratic representatives have introduced legislation to repeal numerous restrictions in state law to abortion access. Some of those included removing the 6-week ban and the mandatory 24-hour waiting period between showing up to get an abortion and getting the procedure. Jesus fucking Christ. So they're making abortion on demand is what it is, dude. So this bill is making sure that people do have access to by removing some of the barriers that have been in place for over 20 to 30 years. Again, case fucking law, Beth Liston, you fucking demonic cunt. Been in place for over 20 to 30 years that really impact women's health and the care they're able to receive. Physicians in state... Oh my god. How the fuck is Beth Liston still a physician in the state, dude? Why does she still have a medical license for real? Why does this fucking piece of shit cunt have a medical license in the state of Ohio, dude? Same thing with Nina Samani at this point. Strip the fucking medical licenses, dude, seriously. This is a fucking joke, man. These are the kind of people that, by the way, should never be allowed to run for fucking office based on the fact that you have a medical background and you are such a fucking... I guarantee you, this bitch is making money off abortion in this state, dude. You cannot tell me otherwise. Oh my god, dude. Said it's unlikely that the Republicans in the State House will pass this bill. In fact, News 5 asked State Rep Josh Williams if he thinks it will be heard. He just said, hell no. No, he said no. I said, hell no. So what's going to happen in these restrictions are going to have to be challenged in court. said Williams is one of the 27 of 67 House Republicans who have condemned issue 1's passage. It said, we will not do anything in our power to prevent our laws from being removed based upon our intent, the letter states. When asked what this meant, Williams said it means whether or not issue 1 being put into effect with a new legislation from Democrats would directly conflict with existing laws, and lawmakers then plan to challenge these in court. He said, however, this doesn't seem to be much legally the GOP can do. Yes, there is, dude. That's the problem. And I'm going to talk about it in a minute here is what it is. He said, quote, the key is to make sure that the public knows exactly what this is. In fact, in case we try to amend this amendment in the future, said Liston knew this was the likely situation and that the Republicans would ignore the bill, but said it's her job as a lawmaker in the Democrat caucus to lift up Ohioans' voices. What the hell kind of fucking retarded shit is that, bitch? Liston was quoted as saying, I'm not sure what some of the extremists will be doing, but we will be working to make sure that women have access to health care. Child murder isn't health care, you fucking demonic cunt! God, dude, I swear to fucking Christ. Oh my God, these people are so, calm down. They are so fucking lucky I've never been to the state house before, dude, because I'd probably be arrested for beating their fucking asses in the fucking chambers at that point. I mean that seriously. Child murder is not healthcare, dude. It is literally killing fucking children, you stupid fucking demonic cunt. You are a fucking demon, Beth Liston. Dude, I'm seriously, oh my God. I'm seriously going to call up Stephen's office Monday morning and demand that if nobody else gets expelled from this General Assembly, Beth Liston is. There needs to be an immediate expulsion of Beth Liston from this General Assembly for literal mass genocide and stripping her ass for her medical license in the state of Ohio ever again, dude. Fuck this fucking cunt. It's time for lawfare the other way, man. For real. Grow a fucking spine, Republicans. I also love how the fucking left always says what some extremists are doing. Yeah, you're the fucking extremist, you fucking literal terrorist piece of shit, Beth Liston. You are the fucking extremist leftist, bitch. It's you and people like you who are the fucking problem in this country. It's your demonic fucking ilk who have done legitimate crossroads demon deals with other pieces of shit like Hakeem Jeffries in the past to seek power is what it is. And I guarantee that's the only way half you fuckers are in office right now, legitimately, is because there's been actual, legitimate crossroads demon deals done in the past year is what it is. We are definitely heading for bad times ahead in this country, man. I believe we're heading for a rapture at this point, truthfully speaking. Like, everything is a lot, like, if you look at the actual Bible text, a book of Revelations and stuff like that, that is directly where we're heading in this country right now. It is modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, dude. You know what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah, dude? It was fucking razed to the goddamn ground by the archangels. And they told Lot to leave with his family and not look back. And you know who looked back? His wife looked back. You know what she did? She turned a fucking pillar of salt. There was also some weird, by the way, there was some weird creepy shit after that too, by the way, that I've heard in the past, which I'm not sure how true it is. I think it is in the Bible someplace, or at least certain versions of the Bible is what it is there, where you basically had Lot and his daughters that were, which, by the way, for those who don't know, during that time period in Sodom and Gomorrah, you had Lot, who was actually this dude who wanted to basically make sure that these people were not, like, you know, raping everybody and stuff like that. And I think he tried to give up his daughters to these people is what it was. Or no, sorry. He tried to give up himself to them is what it was, to basically be raped by all these, like, crazy savage dudes is what it is there. And then they're like, no, we want your daughters instead. And he's like, no, it's not happening, bro. And so that's when he ended up fleeing with his family is what it was then. And then you end up having a situation then where apparently, supposedly, later on, him and the daughters went in a cave together. And because of the way that Sodom and Gomorrah was razed to the ground, there's nobody surviving that whole thing is what it was there from the archangels, you know, dropping basically firebombs on the place and shit like that. The two daughters apparently got their father drunk somehow and supposedly had sex with them. So it was totally incest because they thought they were the last people on earth, was what it was. And they wanted to make sure that there was, like, you know, others after them is what it would be then. So yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not sure how true that is. I've heard that from people in the past that have told me that story and stuff like that. So I'm not sure what version of the Bible they were talking about in that situation. Because again, there's like so many versions of the Bible, whether it be the King James version, whether it be the actual, Old Testament from the Christianity side, or whether it be like Presbyterian Bible and stuff like that, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, there's been different things done in different ones, and people have rewritten stuff so many times. What it is there, it's like it's hard to tell which is which, and what actually was reality back in those days. So it might be real, it might be not real. Who the fuck knows? But either way, it's a bunch of shit either way, man. And like I said, the entire point of the matter is it's like, the issue becomes, like I said, going back, you had basically the 6-week ban in place, or you had abortion at the moment of birth. But the thing about that is it's not just abortion at the moment of birth is what it is, dude. Which is the real problem. I think that's the real problem with the GOP messaging in this whole situation. The $20-something million they spent. It was just like, oh, don't let your kids be having abortions and stuff like that, basically. It's like, no, dude. Take it to everything. Take it to everything that was beyond that. It's child sterilization, for God's sakes. You have no parental rights under this shit, dude. Your fucking 10-year-old kid now, if this becomes law, enshrined in the Constitution in December, you can literally have a child before Christmas now, go out there and start doing hormone drugs, go to some fucking Planned Parenthood at 10 years old, have a fucking apartment on their own or whatever the case be, and have fucking abortion or have HRT drugs given to them to start a medical transition is what it is, dude, and sterilize that kid for life because of that. Or 14 or 15, whatever the hell it is then. Any kid under the age of 18 now can do that shit, man. And people are, like I said, people are going to wake up to that shit really quick is what it is. Whether it be a month and a half from now, whether it be 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 4 months from now, if this is allowed to go through and stuff, it cannot be allowed, man. It can't. Because I guarantee you, it's not just going to be the kids doing that shit. You're going to have sick-ass, demonic fucking pedophiles in our school systems in the state. These leftist pieces of shit, these green-haired fucking cunts that want to sit there and call themselves non-binary or genderqueer, what the fuck it is, dude, that have no business being in power at all, have no business influencing children at all, for that matter. They're going to be the ones going to these fucking places and probably just getting a bunch of fucking HRT drugs and then just handing them out during class to kids, for God's sakes. I would not be least surprised by that one if you actually see future arrests of these fucking people where it's like, oh, a teacher was busted today for handing 27 kids fucking hormone drugs. That's how fucked up this shit is, dude. And that's how fucked up these people are. And you cannot honestly tell me okay, I'm back. Sorry, technical difficulties. For some retarded ass reason, okay, so my internet was fine the entire time, but for some reason my router decided to go out. So I don't know if it needs to be reset or something somehow, or if it's the like I said with the technician guy yesterday, it might need to be that they need to come out here and just redo the cable line to the actual from the street to the house is what it is then, because they already did the one at the house is what it is now. So it needs to get up on the pole there and relay in that one probably potentially, which wouldn't surprise me because that's been there for 25, 30 years, and that's probably full of corrosion and stuff like that. That needs to be either knocked off there or again yanked down and then replaced in a couple hours, whatever it's going to be then. So, yeah, I definitely had to call a Spectrum then on that one because that's fucking ridiculous. It should never had any lost years what it is today or any day for that matter. But yeah, going back to what I was saying though, yeah, it's demonic, dude. It is. It really is. These people are not going to understand, especially these parents for that matter, that voted yes on this shit, like my friend, is not going to understand this until it affects their children, until it affects their young daughters, until it affects their young son. When these kids are being indoctrinated by the shit from these fucking sickos in your school systems. And you're going to have these sick-ass fucking pedophile teachers now that are going to sit there and try to transition your kids is what it is, man. And that's the thing. Like, this is the problem with Satanism in general, dude, in this country. These people know about deception. They know how to deceive is what it is very well. Because they know how to cast spells and shit is what it is, man. And a lot of it is witchcraftery for that matter. It's, you know, like that's the whole thing about like broadcast. It's, you know, they're broadly casting a spell is what it is there over the general population. And again, it's exactly why you got pieces of shit like Morgan Trow saying anti-abortion instead of pro-life, because they know that they can control a narrative at that point, and they're broadly casting their spell to put it in people's heads of like, oh yeah, this is what you should say now is what it is. It's like, no, you should be saying pro-life, you fucking piece of shit demonic cunt. And that's exactly why the mainstream media should be sued over that kind of stuff, dude. Should be able to be legally sued over that kind of stuff because of the fact you're actively pushing a phrase that was never existing in this country's history until you fuckers made it up like 10, 15 years back now to push your fucking child murder on demand shit that you called abortion. Which, by the way, let's call abortion what it really is at this point. It's literally mass genocide of the unborn in the womb. And should be treated as such. The conjugal humanity is what it is there. So, anyway, I'm gonna talk about two other things before we leave today. That's what it is right now. So we got this one about Joe Manchin. I thought was pretty interesting. Says Joe Manchin's decision hurts Democrats' Senate hopes and sparks new speculation about a presidential bid. Not surprising. There's been talk of him possibly running on the No Labels Party, which I guess is like, they might as well call it what it is. Actually, it's the Communist Party, because it's basically just like a bunch of commie bullshit is what they're pushing forward is what it is there. So I'm not the least surprised that be the case. But again, all this would do was siphon votes from Democrats and just allow Republicans to win, being Trump and stuff like that. So it's possibly a good thing at the end of the day that he's going to run there is what it is. Not to mention, he potentially would have the current governor of West Virginia, Jim Justice, be able to easily win a primary bid in the Republican primary and then eventually take over that Senate seat come 2024 then. So, now granted, do I really want Jim Justice as a U.S. Senator? No, I don't. I'd rather have somebody else in there that's an actual America First politician, or not politician, America First candidate that is actually a civil servant who actually gives a shit about the actual U.S. Constitution that they are willing to uphold, because of the fact that when you have that piece of shit Jim Justice, who just like Mike DeWine, should be in federal prison right now for crimes against humanity, because both these assholes push the fucking jabs on the general public, and then you wonder why so many fucking people voted yes on issue 1 and also took the fucking jabs, dude. Yeah, y'all committed a bunch of fucking genocide against the American people, dude, and you should all be in prison for that right now. For pushing that crap. It's like various lotteries and stuff, which, by the way, both these assholes illegally use taxpayer funding to do that stuff, because technically the money that was used for the Vax-A-Million stuff here in Ohio and the shit that Jim Justice used down in West Virginia, that it was like a shotgun thing and like something else for the lottery thing there is what it was. If you got jabbed up and stuff, you'd be qualified for. Both of those fucking money things was supposed to be basically a 4th or 5th COVID check to the American people at that point, based on various state funding that was in that situation that these asshole governors stole and then used for that bullshit ass fucking demonic shit, dude. So yeah, Jim Justice and Mike DeWine should both be in prison right now for the rest of their damn lives. Miss Universe boss files for bankruptcy as pageant with transgender contestants nears. Oh man, I can't help but laugh about that one. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, there's apparently 2 trainees in this one, dude. It's this company that owns Miss Universe pageant filed for bankruptcy Thursday, but its upcoming pageant will go on as planned. Jesus. It's a JKN Global Group cited a liquidity problem regarding the issue as was reported today here, said in a statement on the company's website, the global group said it has a strategic corporate financial management plan to cope with the current financial situation. The statement continued, we are confident that the new plan will support all the company's business operations, including Miss Universe. We confirm that Miss Universe 2023 will be held in El Salvador on November 18th, which is a top-notch experience provided to our fans, will remain our top priorities. We reaffirm legacy of Miss Universe will be carried on as was mentioned from the beginning. Said company is led by transgender rights advocate Anna, never sure how to pronounce that woman's last name, some kind of Russian or Ukrainian or something like that probably, who took over the pageant brand in 2022. Is why you allowed trainees in here now is what it is. And Taras said, I love to see women who can overcome the obstacles without fear and never be afraid of confronting the mistakes of their inner strength. You don't care what people think of you when you fail, which we can happen to anyone, but you should focus on how to spring back instead. Yeah, so why you're allowing trans in there is what it is now. So July reported that Miss Universe leaders welcome transgenders competing in the pageant. However, it was a requirement that those individuals must have undergone gender-affirming surgery in order to join. So it's important to note that this piece of shit transit. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So if this is this Anna person, yeah, this person used to be trans themselves, which makes sense. You're looking at the face there, they look like they used to be a guy. Yeah, it says that right now. Yeah, it's important to note that Anna transitioned from being a man to living as a woman when he was in his 30s. Said July 2022, Miss Universe issued a social media post about menstruation with guidelines of how to talk about it. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Oh my god. Again, goes back to the demonic shit we've been talking about this whole episode, honestly, man, of the fucking left. Fucking people, man. And then finally, for today's episode, we're going to talk about President Trump, the president of this country. Got a new poll. Voters trust Donald Trump over Joe Biden on 10 key issues. Said voters trust former President Donald Trump. Well, actually, it means real President Donald Trump over cheater Joe Biden on 10 key issues heading into 2024 election cycle. So the polling suggests Biden's leadership on major policies issues failed to resonate with voters, which could negatively impact re-election hopes. He was never elected in the fucking first place, you fucking lying dipshits. So Trump leads Biden among all 10 key issues, being economy, infrastructure, housing, crime, immigration, U.S.-China relations, guns, labor and unions, Russian-Ukraine war, and Israel-Hamas war. Voters weighed their top 3 priorities, 2 of which Trump pulled over Biden, being economy and immigration, and then the third one being democracy. Again, I don't know how many times I have to say this to you fucking people. We are not a democracy. We are a literal constitutional republic with a Democrat voting process, people. And the reason for that is because you have the right to freedom of speech. You have the right to freedom of the press, to freedom of religion, the right to keep and bear arms, the right to a speedy trial, the right to not have your shit illegally searched and seized, etc., etc., states' rights, all that good stuff in the Bill of Rights. And when you look at most state constitutions, for that matter, across this country, since their founding 150 plus years ago or so, all followed U.S. Constitution to some form or another. It's exactly why Ohio says it the way it does, about life, liberty, property, etc. there, which, by the way, is in the Constitution itself at a federal level there. U.S. Constitution said that from the beginning, dude. Since 1776, and then eventually when it was ratified in 1779, or sorry, 1789, you actually have the whole infrastructure in there of life, liberty, property, of all men being created equal. Because, shocker, women didn't have the right to vote at all until some fucking dumb motherfucker in 1919 decided, okay, now's the time, people, let's bring them forward. And there was a bunch of stupid-ass beta males that voted in women's right to fucking vote. And what was the first thing they did in 1920? They voted in the worst fucking president in U.S. history. Seriously, man. That president being Warren G. Harding. So, yeah, Harding was a dumb motherfucker, and everybody else after him was too, for that matter. Warren G. Harding was terrible. You had fucking FDR after that. You had fucking what's his name, who was FDR's dude, which, by the way, back in those days with FDR and stuff like that, you actually did not have term limits on power, so they could basically run for 4 or 5 election cycles. And I think FDR was in his 3rd term or something like that when he died in power, like halfway in. And then you had, I'm trying to remember what the guy's name was after him now. It was due to create Majestic 12. I want to say Eisenhower, but I could be wrong about that one. Harry Truman, that's who it was. Yeah. Yeah, it was Truman that was FDR's vice president, and then he became president when FDR died in office. And yeah, it was this. Bring this guy's picture up here. It was this scummy motherfucker right here that created the UFO stuff for Majestic 12. That was a bunch of CIA and other alphabet agencies back then that came together to hide UFO activity in this country. So, which is so stupid because again, they could have just been right with us at that point and been like, hey, we know y'all are scared, but guess what? Here's the real deal. Like, don't freak the fuck out. Yes, we actually did, capture alien craft at Roswell in the 1940s, et cetera, et cetera. Just make that blanket statement, basically. And I guarantee you, yeah, there would have been some people having a little bit of a freak out and been like, oh my God, we have UFO tech. What the fuck? And then you'd have other people be like, calm down, Nancy. Calm down, Karen. Calm down, Shelly. Sheila, etc. It's going to be okay. Yes, there are extraterrestrials out there, but we actually know who they are now. And we have their technology and we're going to use it. And that's what they should have said to begin with, dude. They should have been like, yeah, we're going to do what we can right now. We're going to reverse engineer the shit out of this tech, and we're going to give you guys a bunch of technology advancements now. Which is exactly why we have computers and shit nowadays, by the way, for those who don't know, man. Like, all of our technology right now, the computer I'm using to do this on, the mic I'm using to do this on, and stuff like that, dude, is all created by reverse engineering alien tech for the last 70 plus years in this country. So, yeah, it's just fucking stupid to not just come out and say the truth, man. But that's the problem with the government, dude, is they don't want to tell you the truth because all they want at the end of the day is control. It's the same thing with these fucking retards that voted through issue 1. These demonic leftists, all they want is control. They want to sit there and claim my body, my choice, yet you have another living human being inside of your womb, you stupid fucking cunts. And you're too dumb to realize that. Although I'm not surprised because half you fucking people don't even know what a man or a woman is. You can't define a man or a woman for God's sakes because you want to be both a man and a woman at the same fucking time. So, it's like, fuck, man. Anyway. What was I talking about again? Oh, yeah, that's right. Trump and the economy. So. Actually, I will talk about this one before we leave today. So, y'all remember pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, right? Federal judge approves $290 million JP Morgan Chase settlement with Jeffrey Epstein victims. So, federal judges approved JP Morgan Chase's settlement of class action lawsuit in which the nation's largest bank will pay $290 million to the victims of disgraced financier and convicted child abuser Jeffrey Epstein. JP Morgan, which was sued for ignoring warning signs about Epstein's sex trafficking operation while he was a client, will pay nearly 200 of Epstein's victims. That's a fucking joke, dude. Seriously, 290 million to almost 200 victims. That's like, what, $10 million a piece or less for that matter? Or actually, no. Would that be like $1 million a piece, actually? I'm like, yeah, I'd probably be closer to like 1 million piece, actually. 1.5 million, maybe something like that. That's a fucking joke, dude. No. You should give up billions of dollars to people at this point, man. Or at least several $100 million a piece at that point, anyway. So, it's fucking disgusting, dude. So the preliminary settlement was reached in June. Judge Jed Rockif gave final approval on Thursday after holding an afternoon hearing to determine the fairness of the settlement and Epstein's victims. Attorney General from 16 states in Washington, D.C. reportedly raised concerns about some of the language in the settlement, saying a broad release given to J.P. Morgan could prevent other states from being able to bring their own sex trafficking claims under federal law that allows state governments to file civil lawsuits on behalf of sex abuse victims. So Judge Jed said that it was a hypothetical issue, and he found no problem with the settlement language. Fucking scumbag. How much you want to bet this guy's one of the fucking clients, honestly, for that matter, dude? Just by saying that shit. So the case will send a message through the very... let's see. This case sent a message, though, this very substantial settlement that banking institutions have a responsibility. Obviously not when you're giving them like $1 million a piece, dude, is what it is. Like, what a fucking joke, man. So, actually, speaking of the fucking joke, Callie Lloyd admits U.S. women's national team lost to bigger, stronger, faster 15-year-old boys. Yeah, women's empowerment, women's rights, right? All that good shit. So it's been one of the most clearly guarded secrets in the mainstream sports media world. It is so sensitive that no one has openly discussed it on major media platforms, but former U.S. women's national team star Carly Lloyd has broken the silence and admitted the truth. The U.S. women's national team got beat by a bunch of 15-year-old boys. And this is why these stupid cunts don't deserve a fucking dime, ever. And sure as shit don't deserve as much as fucking male soccer players, dude. Because y'all suck. You don't bring up enough revenue is what it is, man. It's the same thing with WNBA. It's a fucking joke, man. So... okay, so here's a picture of one of these kids then. Yeah, it's had this chick on social media here talking about, haha, they should beat us. Bigger, stronger, faster. Boys always gave us a run for our money. It's a great prep. Yeah, this dude was like at least a head taller than her ass. Probably about, I don't know, 30 pounds on her at least. Maybe 40 pounds, give or take. Yeah, it says typical when someone mentions this, I'll post one of the pub photos of you standing with one of the boys who is a foot taller than you. I mean, come on. Yeah, exactly. Said Lloyd's statement did not go unnoticed by women's sports defender Riley Gaines. Riley Gaines said U.S. women's soccer team and two-time Olympic gold medalist soccer player Carly Lloyd admitting they rightfully got beat by the boys because they are bigger, stronger, faster than women. So it's a controversial statement. And she said about Carrie actually admitting the truth is what it was there. It said, yes, the male youth teams the U.S. women's soccer team lost to were extremely talented. Many of these players are playing professional soccer right now. However, point still stands. Males who have undergone puberty, even 15-year-old males, are indefinitely more athletic than even the very best female athletes in their respective sports. Exactly, dude. Exactly. Pretty sure that's that fucking cunt Megan Rapinoe on the bottom there. I hate that fucking woman so much. She is what it is. She is such a fucking piece of trash in general, dude. The fact that she's even any kind of fucking, like, star of any kind, dude, is exactly what's wrong with this country in a nutshell, honestly, dude. Like, stop making stupid fucking cunts like that famous ever. Just like the same thing with that dumb cunt Sexy Red, talking about her booty hole brown and shit like that. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. How is that music, by the way, today? Like, if that's what music is today, man, like, can we just stop making music, please? For God's sakes. Seriously. I mean that for real. Anyway, that being said, that's where we're at for the day. I gotta go. Got some stuff I gotta do. Game related. Ended up finding out the hard way last night that apparently it doesn't matter what happens if you're not shielded at the time that the reset happens. Somebody's gonna fuck you over about 3 minutes later. What it is, and that's what me last night. But thank God every single one of my accounts had a shield after that. Then, so they only got one hit in a piece. But I still lost some people. Is what it was. So, which sucks because it was. I think I lost a couple T10s last night, and the only good thing that came out of it was actually the person that hit me because my thing went into place then actually gave me a bunch of free shit at the end of the day so that what I lost in troops, I actually can make up for more than that in the next day or so. Here's what it is through like crazy building because it was a shitload of fucking speed ups and stuff like that was given to me. So anyway, but yeah, other than that, That's where I'm at for today. I will be back tomorrow for Stand Your Ground Saturday, hopefully with a panel this time. I was hoping Corey would be on today, but I don't know. I don't think he ever did. Get a hold of me or anything like that then. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I do want to mention one more thing before we leave today. Vivek Ramaswamy was talking about Nikki Haley again. I thought it was pretty funny. This is from X/Twitter earlier. Said Vivek Ramaswamy doubles down on criticism of Nikki Haley, says she is Hillary Clinton on steroids as he goes into greater detail on how she got loaded off politics. Yeah, of course she did, dude. Said Ramaswamy reveals how Haley is allegedly collecting corporate stock options while running for U.S. president. Said comes out of government, drowned in personal debt, uses connections to start a military contracting firm without naming their clients. Someone who actually then joins the board of Boeing. Speaking fees, including the foreign actors, Hillary Clinton style, collecting stock options while running for U.S. president. This is all what Vivek said, by the way. It said all of that then emerges, just like Biden, a multimillionaire. These are not the people, whether it's Biden or Haley. These are the people we should. These are not the people we should want deciding whether to send our kids to die fighting someone else's war. Exactly. And that's the thing. As much as I don't like Vivek, because I do think he's a maturing candidate, is what it is, dude. Like, he's saying all the, like, stop saying all the right things, Vivek. Stop making me trying to like you, bro. Like, seriously, dude. Like, I want to like you, but I think you're a scumbag just like Obama was. And that's the thing. I fell for his shit like a decade and a half ago, bro. Like, I don't want to fall for your shit, Vivek, is what it is. Because really, I don't want you taking me into a fucking, I don't want to be fooled again, man. Like, that's what it is, Like, I've been fooled too many times in the past, man. I don't need to be fooled again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me once, fool me once. Yeah, I was like, I'm saying this shit. I can't remember now. It's one way or the other. It's like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Something like that. Or no. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Something like that. Let me look it up real quick. I know Bush fucked it up that one time. Okay, yeah, it is fool me once, shame on you. Yeah, fool me twice, shame on me. After being tricked once, that's what Wikipedia said. Here it is. After being tricked once, one should learn from one's mistakes and avoid being tricked in the same way again. Exactly. And that's exactly what it is at the end of the day, man. You should never be tricked again the same exact way. And I feel like that's what it is with Vivek, honestly, man. Like, it's not like I don't think he could be good. I just find it very suspicious. Like, this is the thing. I find it very, very suspicious that we had a governor's race in the state of Ohio a little over a year ago now. And about a year and a half or so, give or take, 18 months ago, somewhere in there, you had a governor primary for the Republican Party, and Vivek could have easily at that point, between January and May, actually not even January, May, between like end of 2021, someplace in there, and beginning of 2022, filed paperwork to become governor, got the signature collections done, made a name for himself here on every single thing he's running for as president right now, been one of the best upstart candidates ever, come in there, smoked DeWine's ass in the fucking primaries, smoked everybody else in the primaries, because I guarantee if Vivek had been in there, you would have basically had DeWine be second or third. You would have had Jim, who's that motherfucker? Shit, I can't remember what that guy's name is now. The dude who was trying to run for U.S. Senate a couple years ago that got fucked over because Sherrod Brown's cheat in 2018, who's also a scumbag rhino. And then the guy who was third in line, or fourth in line in that situation was Ron Hood. You probably would never actually have that idiot fucking what's that one guy's name? The moron in the cowboy hat that tried to fucking shit talk me, by the way. Joe Blystone, that's who it is. Yeah, you would have never had Blystone be third, and next it would have been like fourth or fifth, probably, or not even been in the race at all for that matter. And you would have just had Vivek in there, is what it was. And Vivek would have smoked everybody in that fucking primary, dude. He would have won that primary easily. He would have been backed as a candidate. You would have had him be governor right now of the state of Ohio, and been probably one of the best governors, honestly, ever, is what it is. So, yeah, it just pisses me off, really, is what it is, dude. And that's why I feel like, truthfully, that's why this guy is such a maturing candidate, is what it is. Because when you have the ability to do stuff like that, you don't do it. And then all of a sudden you come out of nowhere, like a couple months after that, You know, we literally had the governor's race in 2022 there in November, and then it's like, you know, fast forward December, January, I think it was February this year. All of a sudden, you hear Vivek Ramaswamy announces candidacy for presidency or whatever the case be, presidential candidacy, and it's like, who the fuck is Vivek Ramaswamy? And then the more I look into this guy, it's just like you got him talking, being like fucking some little puppet back in the day in 2004, talking about some shit to Al Sharpton and stuff like that. And so was Pete Buttigieg at that place because they were like interns or whatever for some random companies, what it is there in government. And it's like, yeah, man, like this dude just like he stinks worse than like 50-day-old fish, honestly, that's been left out in the sun to rot. And you just like walk by and there's like just a little bit of fucking fish stink left on is what it is, but it's like the most putrid fucking smell you ever smelled is what it is, man. So yeah, it's just nasty. But that's what I'm saying. And then not to mention the fact that he went to a massage parlor this week. I know that for a fact because my sister works at that place. So now granted, I'm just making a joke on that one because he didn't get the happy ending, honestly. It's a legit massage parlor. They just do like back massages and like neck massages and shit like that. But yeah, he apparently, from what my brother told me the other day, my sister-in-law was at the desk working and stuff like that. And how they have the stuff done is you sign in or whatever the case be, and then they call out your name or whatever it is there. And they're like, you know, they called out like whoever it was or whatever. I don't know if Vivek himself wrote the thing down or it was like another name written down for him or whatever the case be. And it was like one of his aide people that was with him or whatever. I was like, okay, let me go outside and get him or whatever. You just see this Escalade start pulling up like real close to the door. Fucking driver gets out of the door, driver's seat, runs around the back, grabs a backpack out of the back, runs around to the other side of the car, then pops open the door, and Vivek gets out of the door. Then hands him his bag. They walk in together, and then he's like, "I'm here, y'all," and he just like looks around at people, and they're just like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like, it was funny, dude, because my sister-in-law told my brother, she's like, yeah, I had no idea who this fucking guy was. Nobody else did either, for that matter. And then he's like, yeah, I'm the guy running for president right now. And they're like, oh, okay. Like, that's the sad part, man. Like, if you can walk around and nobody recognizes your ass, dude, because they don't care about politics is what it really is, honestly. You're not really a known entity, dude. And your chances of winning are really, really fucking low for that matter. It makes sense, honestly, what Vivek is polling in like 4 to 6 or something like that at this point, is like 3rd or 4th in these polls or whatever then. Because honestly, like I've said before, man, it's all Trump. It's Trump 2024, man, for real. So the best thing Vivek could hope for at this point, if he actually is on the level, would be a VP candidacy or like a Secretary of State seat or something like that. Is what it would be, appointment or something like that is what it would be then. So anyway, but yeah, that being said, that's pretty much it for the day, though. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I will be back for tomorrow's Stand Your Ground Saturday, about probably 10:30 to 11 o'clock, somewhere in there. And we will be discussing some other things, some other various topics of the day. And actually, before we finish off this one, I thought this was pretty hilarious. Deadline now reporting that The Marvels, that stupid-ass Marvel movie, heading to the lowest opening weekend ever for any Marvel MCU film, expected to make roughly 47 to 50 million bucks. Oh man, women are really taking the L's this week, man. I swear to God, bro, they really are, man. So I'm not surprised though. Brie Larson can suck a bag of shit, honestly, dude. At this point. Like, she is so fucking... She was the worst casting for that fucking role, man. If anything, they just need to scrub that whole universe at this point and just recast entirely. Because there's other chicks out there. If they wanted to do it right, man, they should have gone for like a 30 to 40-year-old as Miss Marvel. And it wouldn't have been Captain Marvel. It would have been actual Carol Danvers as Miss Marvel. Not that stupid fucking muzzy piece of shit woman there is what it is the young girl called herself Miss Marvel now. It's like, no, fuck that. You go back to the old school one, 1960s, 70s, 80s, someplace in there, where you had Miss Marvel introduced in the Marvel Universe. You had her meet Captain Marvel, who was a fucking man, by the way, not some fucking dumb bitch, which is another thing that they did with the fucking woke crap there for the actual Marvel movies there. You actually do it legitimately as its origin story, where she meets the male Captain Marvel where he gives her the fucking powers of the Marvel powers, and she becomes Miss Marvel, and then we go from there basically. And you got Monica Rambeau, who became like Protein or whatever it was after that, then, or Proton, I think is what it is. And she eventually became Miss Marvel at some point too, for that matter. And yeah, you would have had like way better things than what it is there, man. But anyway, that's Marvel for you, though. They got to go woke diversity bullshit, even though they already had a great story that had diversity included in it with the actual original fucking storyline that you could have gone directly by from the comics, dude. Because again, when you look at that comic, Monica Rambeau was a black female. Carol Danvers was a white female. Captain Marvel was I don't even know what the fuck he was, like white male or something, if I'm not mistaken. But then they changed him into some fucking woman, is what it was then, dude. And it's like, no, he was not a woman. He was a fucking guy. For God's sakes. Anyway. But yeah, it's like, and that's why the shit just failed, dude. It's just fucking garbage in general. I never actually watched that piece of crap Captain Marvel film. I never fucking will, actually, for that matter. It's just like the same with that shitty Fantastic Four that had a black Human Torch in it. Johnny Storm isn't black. Late breaking news, people. Every single Marvel universe that's ever been out there, from the MCU 616 universe to any other parallel universe, he's always been a fucking blonde-haired, blue-eyed white boy. Legitimately, or pretty close to that, for that matter. He's never been a fucking minority in any universe they've created, as far as I'm aware of. And yeah, he's always been just a white dude, basically. Or he's been some other like creature, whatever the case be, then if that be the case, whatever. But either way, stop trying to fucking race swap, stop trying to fucking gender swap everything. You'd be better off as a company at this point. And for God's sakes, get rid of Kathleen. She's fucking dragging your asses down to the dirt, man. Kathleen Kennedy is fucking trash, dude. The Pandaverse showed this to us all recently, and that was a great fucking special, by the way, by South Park. Because it was basically Cartman as a chick, and it was like, make her black and gay, make her black and gay, and it was like everything was like it's basically making a minority and make her gay. So anyway, but yeah, it's like just fucking ridiculous in general. Just like most of Hollywood is these days. So anyways, but yeah, that being said, we'll be back tomorrow about probably 10:30, 11 o'clock, somewhere in there. And we will be talking about different Stand Your Ground stuff. I'm not exactly sure what the actual topics of the day will be. It'll definitely be about 2A for sure, though, because it is Stand Your Ground Saturday, for God's sakes. We may also bring up some other stuff, too, like politics stuff that I talked about in the last couple of days here, and various other topics of the day and whatever the case be. But yeah, for the most part, it'll just be mostly 2A based, and then we'll go from there. And do a couple things.